And welcome
We're
back.
back with the
The
Sunderkids.
Sunderkids, everyday vibes. And I'm Brittany.
Everyday vibes, and I'm Matthew.
What? Who are you? Just kidding.
I'm Matthew.
And we are the Sunderkids.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're almost in May. We are getting there.
isn't that
Whew,
kind of crazy?
it's kind of
Already,
nuts.
already 5 months. Getting to the fifth
Dude, it's
already.
really wild. Like your birthday's coming up, Mother's Day's coming up, everything. I don't know. I feel like end of April
Time
to
keeps
like
on
August,
slipping into
into
the
the
future.
future. Oh, that's a great song. But I do feel like it's just, I mean, truly just whoa, flying away.
It is flying away. You gotta like catch it.
Oh my God, I feel like
Yeah.
I've just been running all day doing God knows what. And it's like, I'm sitting down finally for the first time and I'm like, whew, deep breaths.
Yeah, sitting down first time in a few days because you have
In
had
a,
quite an eventful few
oh my
days,
gosh.
and I am excited for you to tell us about it.
Yes. Oh, you guys. Oh, Matthew, that was the best week.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
It was so epic. Okay, so I went up to this wedding in Milwaukee and
Milwaukee.
like, first of all, I've never been to
Hello,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Exactly. When I drove in, I was like, hello, Wisconsin.
Hello, Wisconsin. Partying with cheeseheads. Let's go.
Partying with the cheeseheads, having spotted cow beer. I gotten into that Milwaukee groove pretty quick.
Nice.
But so I drove up the day of the wedding, right? It was on a Friday afternoon. It started at 4. And
All
so I
right.
left at like 7:30 from my apartment. Got there around, I don't know, 11:45, 11:30-ish. And then I had a
Not too bad.
call
Not too
for
bad.
not too bad app. And I had downloaded all these podcasts. I was ready to
Uh-huh.
rock and roll.
What's the
And
landscape like when you're driving that
okay,
way?
let's see. Well,
Yeah.
first of all, I'm going north, right? I'm in Effingham.
Yeah.
So very rural. And then you kind of
But
get to like
what
Chi-Town.
yeah.
And you're like, all right,
Okay.
okay, cool.
Okay.
Like we're getting more city-esque, not agriculture, less agriculture, more architecture.
More windy.
More windy. Yeah, hella freaking windy. And then getting up into Wisconsin, I mean, it's only, I think, an hour from Chicago to Milwaukee. It is
Yeah,
quick.
it's not that far.
It's not far enough. And honestly, Milwaukee is gorgeous.
Milwaukee is beautiful, right?
Oh my gosh, like on the water, everything is
Yeah.
beer. Like I didn't realize how many
Uh-huh.
beers are from Milwaukee. You got Old
Mhm.
Milwaukee, you got Miller, and you got PBR. All three of those are
Oh, yeah.
downtown Milwaukee. Like what?
And
I
just
don't
the
know.
stonework in that
Oh,
downtown area.
the
Oh, look at that.
architecture.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was incredible.
And it's like subtly detailed. You like look into it and you're like, wait, huh? And you're like,
yeah. A
I
lot
was
more
quite
culture
impressed
than
when
I
I went
thought.
there.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's cool.
And I thought, honestly, I'd live here. This is not a bad. Granted, have
You
not
get
been there
it.
for a winter,
But
but
you get a
you get
Midwest
the vibe.
winter.
I know I'm in West Winter, but a Wisconsin
If you
winter, I
like
think that's on par.
snow, there you
Which
go.
it snowed on my drive from Milwaukee to Macomb
Oh,
twice.
majestic.
I
Isn't
don't
that
know
good
about
luck or something?
majestic. Is it?
I don't know.
Well, I had big old flakes. I mean, it was like
Big old
temperature
flakes.
dropped
Fluffy
to like
flakes.
30. Yeah, it's like I was in a snow globe. It was sick.
Yeah,
Oh,
reverse
okay.
snow globe because you're in the car. But
Reverse. Yeah, we
anyway,
talked about
you
this last
get to
time.
Milwaukee.
Okay, so I get to Milwaukee. I get into the DoubleTree, warm
Mhm.
cookie, which is the best part about the DoubleTree. So I get my warm
Oh.
cookie and I go up to my room and I get ready because I had like
Scrumptious.
a piece, very scrumptious, and I had a Peace Corps calls for school/work. So I got onto that and it was like, okay, sick, get this done. And then by the time it's like ready to go, there's a charter bus coming to the hotel to pick us up. I'm
Charter
like,
buses.
sweet, like big charter buses.
Ooh.
So I go down and then I'm, it's like, hey, are you going to the wedding? Yeah, we're going to the wedding too. Okay,
Oh,
great.
yeah.
And okay,
Other people dressed up.
this was, and I don't know if I'm, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but this was my first wedding alone.
Oh.
Like, that's a very different dynamic. I'm not in the wedding and alone. That's different. Then you're like part of something. You have a place to sit.
You still got something.
Yeah. And I drove up I didn't meet anyone until the wedding. You know, it's like people had things to
Yeah.
do. I had things to do. And then it was like, okay, I just am attending a wedding. And so I don't know anybody. So I get onto the bus and I see some girls that I, was out with the bachelorette party. And I'm like, yes, yes,
Oh.
yes, yes.
Yes, 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 yes,
And
yes,
so I'm
yes.
like, I know you, I know you. So I met a husband and I met a boyfriend. And I'm like, okay,
Boom.
putting these pieces together. I'm making more friends already. This is great. But
Faces, two
still,
names.
like, I'm on a charter bus. I don't know anybody. I'm going to keep to myself.
Yeah.
But we arrive and it is at the Mitchell Park Domes. And there's these 3 eco domes that look like nature's tribe boobies. Just like mounds
Ooh.
of, glass
Trippy tatas.
boobies. Trippy tatas, exactly. And then it had like this big greenhouse, and that's where they got married.
Whoa.
So we get there, and it's like, okay, cool. People are still kind of setting up, like whatever. And then time's kind of going on. We're waiting for more people because the charter bus is going more rounds and blah, 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 blah. So anyways, it starts filling in. And then still, I know like one person that I actually know. And like, it was different, but I do well alone now. So it is
you're
okay. And I don't need
bubbly,
to be on my
beautiful
phone.
Brittany.
Thank you.
No, don't be on your phone. Exactly.
No, but you know what I mean? Like people,
you get it.
I don't want to be on my phone, but that's an
Yeah.
auto, just like, I don't have anyone to talk to, I'm going to go on my phone. So I'm like mingling / just like looking around, just literally looking at where I am. So then starts the ceremony and everyone's getting ready. And I mean, the decorations, they're all DIY, homemade. They're like moss mounds with a candle in it and just very earthy, nature. I mean, these people are like soil, environmental scientists, cool freaking people. And so everything is just earthy and intentional and lovely. And she even made like morel mushroom candles. Like,
you sent me a Snapchat of those. Those look so cool.
Like just down to the detail. It was, I don't know. It was absolutely incredible. So then we're having the ceremony. They're reading their own vows. It's like so heartfelt. I mean, like I'm crying, classic. And then they're like, some people do unity candles. Curtains open, we get tattoos. I'm like, sick. So then everybody just like is in a state of shock. Nobody knew this. And then they go over it and they get these Nordic runes tattooed.
Ooh.
And they were small. I think it only took like maybe 10 minutes max. But everyone's talking about it. Everyone's kind of crowding around, moving like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing
like, check it out.
Like, what is happening? Like, is this real? Oh my God. But everyone was so down. It was, I don't know. And then they come back to the ceremony. They say, I do. And it's like, okay, presenting, the couple. Then they walk out and they're like, hey, it's cocktail hour. Go to the bar. And now you have access to all these domes. Enjoy. Be back for dinner in an hour. Bet. So there's a desert dome. There is a tropical dome. And then there's like a show dome, which is like a floral. It was like an Aurora embodied, but I think it's a seasonal floral one because it had lilies. It was the best smelling one because it was like Easter, Easter in a dome. So perfect time, I think, to go. But that would be interesting at Christmas time, I can imagine. But we had full access to these domes. We're walking around, we're drinking, we're having a good time. Then it's like, okay, let's go back. And I'm assigned to one table. And I'm kind of assigned to like the husbands, the boyfriends, and then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not the singles table, but kind of like the singles table.
Yeah, you're not at the adults table, you're at the kids table. I get
it. Anyways, so honestly, dinner was fabulous, so fresh and absolutely delicious food, like so good. And then their cake was really cool. It was like all in mushrooms, on the outside like fondant. It was a tree trunk type deal. And then they just had all these things. Like, I don't know. They were so thoughtful. Like in the bathroom, there was hair ties and hairspray and deodorant and things you'd need that you'd be like, okay, I need this now. And it was like, get back on the dance floor. Like, okay, that's adorable. And then they had a box of cigars with a box matches and that say Love Struck. And then their, wedding date. So also, nobody does matches anymore. Legit. And the cigar was phenomenal.
Stogies,
yeah, it was so good. Oh my God. Ooh, yeah. And then they had a band, and these band was like a band that they enjoy. Yeah. Who does live music anymore? Needs to come back because literally no one sat down. Like it was so much
Yeah.
fun. And you're at a concert. I mean, why wouldn't you? You know, it's not a DJ. You're like, oh,
And
it's a slow song. I'll sit
weren't
down.
they wearing costumes and stuff?
Yes, like this one guy was a hot
Ooh.
dog, the other guy was a banana. We had an
Hot
Easter
dog.
bunny head. We had a unicorn. There was a man in like this pink dress. It was so awesome.
That's
They were so cool.
fun.
And at one point, they came out and did like an intentional breathing meditation with everyone, sat everybody down.
Really?
Then they came out, were singing, dancing. We had to hold hands, go into the middle. There was so much. We had a conga line. It was so interactive. And I felt so included. And I was telling them after this, like, this is by far one of the top 3 weddings of my entire life. And I want to put it number 1, but I feel like there's probably ones that for all these specific reasons. But this wedding, I felt included.
Magical and included.
It was magical. Everything was so thoughtful, very intentional, very just like, wow, you guys did it so right. Like, thank you for picking us up and dropping us off, including us in your day. But like I don't know, so many different levels. Plus, obviously, these are my type of people. Everyone is like nice and crunchy and very cool jobs. Like people like what they do. They work
strolling down Milwaukee barefoot.
Oh yeah, yes. Groom the next morning,
Yep.
take a dog on a walk barefoot. People were barefoot all night long.
Baller.
People were
Baller.
just comfortable to be them unapologetically,
Yeah.
which is how I operate normally. And it's usually, I'm the only one.
Yeah,
so
you might be
to have an entire room like that. And then I met this guy and he was like, one, beautiful inside and out. And just, whoa. But everyone kept being like, oh my God, you guys would click, like blah, blah, blah. But like we bonded over music. There were so many things. I'm like, wow, we are kind of a same person. I don't know how I feel about this, but like, you're really cool. Like we talked about a festival I want to go to. And he's like, oh, I've already bought tickets. What? Okay. And then just certain things that just kept picking up. And I don't know. It was just a magical evening that I cannot talk more highly about. And then the next day, so not only do they put on this extravagant evening, they invite everyone who was there to a brunch the next morning at a restaurant. And they had a breakfast buffet until it was gone and all free. I mean, you're just going for brunch, seeing the couple off, and then the next day they left for Costa, which is great. They went to Costa for the
Heck yeah.
I told them to buy some ball sacks.
Buy some ball sacks.
And anyone ball sacks. If anyone is in Costa or tropical fruit human being, a granadilla, or it's kind of like a maracuya, which is like a passion fruit, but these granadillas, they are like this outer shell fruit, and then you break it open. It literally looks like a ball sack of like seeds. And you just eat the balls.
Yeah, you just slurp it up, and it's so good and tasty.
Yeah, so when Matthew and I were in Costa together, and we were actually exactly where they're gonna be at, which is fun.
Fun.
Yeah, right up in there, actually, at a resort, which lit. And Matthew would be like, hey, can we get more ball sacks? They're so good. And they really weren't like a fruit really down in my region. So, awesome.
Oh, man,
so
they're good.
But anyways, like I don't know. It was so thoughtful of them to just put this all on the way they did. And then we hung out in their hotel room until like the end of the night / early morning, because they're just I don't know. Every single person I met, I felt the love. Oh my God, the love.
Everybody. Oh, it's so great.
Oh, and like so like-minded. There was zero drama. There was just pure joy. And like, I'm going to go visit the people I met. Who, what?
Boom,
like,
boom.
That's so cool. That is like freaking dope. But that was just, 24 hours. And then the next day I drove to Macomb and, went out that night, saw some friends. And then next day tried to work on a paper. Maybe did like 2 hours of work, but figured it kind of out because I need to graduate in 3 weeks, and I need that paper to
that paper.
But I'm really figuring it out. Basically the way that my old papers have already done half the work for me. So why am I not copying? Because that's kind of what papers do. You already wrote it, so let's use it again. And
you're gonna plagiarize yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But I figured that out.
I won't tell anybody.
Thank you. And then yesterday, I drove back from Macomb. So that's like,
Oh
so I
my.
went 4.5 hours up to Milwaukee, 4.5 hours over to Macomb, and then 3.5 hours down to home. And then I had to go, not had to, I wanted to. Um, my boss, his husband's birthday was yesterday. And thank you for your bird calls. It was his birthday yesterday, and they're like the coolest people ever, and I love hanging out with them. But I went over there for dinner, so I was like, I gotta get back, and we had lamb and lamb chops,
Ooh.
and like, oh my gosh, I was in heaven, and had some Aperol spritz. I don't know, it was
There's
epic. And then
Brittany.
today,
Brittany. There's
what
only one lamb in heaven.
is there now?
I don't know.
Maybe a few racks
You
of
ate
lamb.
it.
I did.
You chopped it up and ate it.
Brittany had a little lamb,
Yeah.
and it was so good.
Yeah.
It was just cooked.
Delicioso.
Delicioso. But yeah, and then I had work today, and that was just like a run. Everything's happening, and I'm like, holy smokes, you guys! I just need to write a paper to graduate. Let's focus on this. But
Focus.
because, like I said last episode, it's like, by the time you get to the end of a service project, it's when I feel like you're actually getting recognized, and it's like, oh, Brittany, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, you're getting pulled
why
in a million
now,
directions.
man?
Yep.
Why? I've got
Yup.
so much other stuff to do, dude. I cannot put another thing on my plate.
Dude.
But I would love to. Oh my gosh. But yeah, anyways, literally one of the best weddings I've ever been to in so many different lights. And I am so thankful to and honored to even be at that wedding. Honestly, I feel like that is one for the century. And if you want to try and top it, go for it. But it might be my wedding that might top it, because that was so amazing. Oh my gosh. And then me and my memory, not great, but I totally forgot her mom was in the Peace Corps in the Dominican Republic. And so I talked to her at the end because I wore my jacket.
Yep.
She was like, hey, is this your jacket?
Patches on. Yep.
Yeah. And she was like, that Peace Corps patch. And I was like, yeah. She's like, were you in the Peace Corps? I'm like, yeah, man. Oh my gosh. It just, I don't know. It struck my heart in so many ways. And I feel like, man, I want to hang out with all those people again. And like, they did it well and right. But anyways, that was my weekend in a nutshell. It was so good. But Matthew, how was your weekend? What did you do? Did you work? Did you vibe? What?
I actually, it's far less exciting than going to the weekend, but
who says?
it did. It was overcast and not too rainy out here, so I just kept hearing Mom in the background on my mind saying, "Oh, you should Poo Poo Point. Just hike Poo Poo Point. That should just be your default. If there's something, it's 30 minutes outside town. Just go Poo Poo Point. Just do it.
Bitch of a hike, though, man.
Yeah. So I did it, and I went.
You did.
Oh yeah. So I got out there about like 2:00 and 2 to 5, and it was actually pretty good because I got my full pack on and everything. So, way down.
I bet.
And like, I'm starting to go, and I'm just keeping a solid, steady pace. So I've passed a few people. And there's only a few times where I had to stop to take off like layers and everything. But for the most part, I was just booking it.
Dang.
But I was booking it trying to just breathe out of my nose.
No, you were
like,
not.
In and out. So I was just holding my mouth and just.
Did you listen to that Huberman Lab thing? Is that why?
No. I just
dude, he
it.
talks about that. That's like a restrained breathing exercise. That's
for sure. I just know that that's a thing, and like,
okay,
I want to be up on Rainiers, so I need to start doing some training. And it was some work, the hike, but I was like, oh man, if I'm just being able to do this, I should add something.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, so how long is that hike, and how much is the elevation?
Oh, I need to look that up. It's I think around 5 miles round trip.
Is it that only? It could be like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I feel like. I mean, it was a pretty hefty hike. I think I've only done it twice, and it freaking killed me. It was. I mean, it's just rougher.
And Let's see.
Mm-mm.
Washington
But
Trails
yeah,
Association.
Poo Point's
And
out by
there was
Snoqualmie, yeah? Or
yes, so it's
yes.
kind of close to Tiger Mountain in Issaquah, and there was some paragliders out there, which was
Yay.
pretty awesome.
Oh.
Is
Which,
it
okay, so
really?
like when
So seven. It says Poo
see,
Point, 7.2
telling
miles
you,
round trip,
yeah.
1,748 feet elevation gain. Highest point is at 2,021 feet. I think there's a little extra bit to get to that highest point. That that first landing strip or takeoff point for the paragliders. That's usually where I just ended up sitting.
Yeah. Watching
And I
them.
just chilled there and watched them for 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And
you see any eagles at all?
No, but the sun did pop out for like the one and only time.
Ooh.
And I just basked it, for about 5 minutes, and then it came up back, and then I just went right on down, and then got home, and then yeah.
Dang,
I've been meaning to finish the last little bit of my pockets for the pocket tees. I have so many new space and NASA designs, and they're at a point where I can go ahead and take some pictures of them, but I should do that last bit of ironing to make them look real pretty before I take pictures and put them online.
Yeah.
But the good news is it turns out that the Etsy account that I have for Cosmic Spruce wasn't permanently suspended because of any actual policy reason. It was just a suspicious login.
Wow. So they like literally shut down your Etsy account because you had a suspicious how long ago was that?
But the thing is, when you submit an appeal, hey, here's the reason why, and I initially submitted an appeal saying I think I just logged in weird. I was trying to do a reset password, and then it says I'm like permanently locked out. I don't know what's up. And then I try to
they don't have
reach
a
out
customer
again.
service, right?
They don't have a phone, but they do have, their
Etsy.
email.
Okay.
And they're supposed to respond within a timely manner. But for the various support emails and stuff I did last month in March, nothing. So even now, I'm waiting back to hear my response and my answers to get it officially unlocked. But that was my mission for this weekend.
Good.
To try to get that kind of locked and loaded.
Yeah.
So when it does, when it does open up, I can just boom have another 50-something awesome pocket t-shirts up on CosmicSpruce.com, Cosmic Spruce Etsy site.
And I mean, they're not all King Giz, right? That's like the NASA.
No, these are all the NASA space ones. So a lot of them are.
And you've got like galaxy trippy fabric, yeah?
Yeah. So they're different nebulas, different galaxies, spiral galaxies, a lot of astronauts, pictures of them on the moon, saluting the American flag. Whoa. We made it to the moon, 1969.
1969. Yep. If you believe in it.
I do 100% wholeheartedly, Brittany, and I'll smack anybody who says otherwise.
I would too. I don't think it's a hoax. I think that's very, very, very real.
Yeah.
But yeah, good. Cosmic Spruce on Etsy.
So, but then, and then I had an opportunity to Skype with Crump.
Lit
on Sunday morning. So we did that for a couple hours, and that was awesome. Always a fun time.
Baller.
So
love a good friend chat.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like an epic weekend. I mean, not like a bad one by any means.
No, not at all. Yeah, no, it was nice and good, semi like casually productive, which is
and
how
you didn't
like
have to like work, huh?
I didn't have to work.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
I might have to this weekend. Not quite sure.
That's okay. It's not bad when it's not all every weekend.
Yeah. This weekend is a new puppy party for
for the friend group. I was thinking like puppies in the pool, and I was thinking that sounds like a disaster zone.
We've done that though.
Yeah, I know people have done
that. We did that at Oak Heights in Omaha, and that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cleaning after that was just so bad, and the chemicals, and then
Oh.
you just imagine like kids running around and
Mm.
like accidentally inhaling and just like having
Oh, oh my
long
God,
dog hair and
stop, stop.
slobber in your own mouth,
Oh my God, stop.
along with the pool water.
Oh, that's,
But I choose
oh.
that's the
Eh. Yeah, yeah. I had someone bring their dog over to my apartment, which I don't mind, and I like dogs, but also I am clean and a clean freak that
mm-hmm.
doesn't have a good vacuum. So in my bed, I'll find dog hair sometimes, and I am disgusted if it is in my
Yeah.
mouth. That is, oh my God. We never grew up with pets. Matthew loves cats, but like,
I love cats. And I would probably have a dog at some point, but I would not want it to be sleeping with me. And
no,
like,
never. That's
I'd want a
my
house
bed.
big enough to be like, here's your half of the house, and here's my human half of the
Yeah,
house.
okay. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
the
like you can't be
animal
on the
life.
couch, but it's more like you just can't be in this half of the house. You can be on the couch
Yeah,
in
but
that
then
half of the
it's
house.
like, oh, when you're in your spot and you like want an animal with you. But yeah, that's really not my vibe. I'm like, yeah, no.
That's why I have cats in that room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dogs
Yeah.
in that half, cats in this half.
There you go.
How about that?
Stay away from each other. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'll just have a pet free home.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. No. Yeah. But also I just want to be able to leave at any time, and I know that is not even viable for a
Is
pet.
that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Is that ability. Cats are a little bit easier in that
Mm-hmm.
regard, but still,
But still, then someone has to
But
go over and do this and
something.
do
Yep.
that. And that's the thing. I will help you watch your pets.
Oh, for
That's
sure. I love.
fine. But yeah, to own. It's the same with a child, I guess. I'll babysit. But I don't want to own a child. Oh my gosh. Well, who knows what'll happen. Maybe one day I'll own one. Oh, lols. But okay, solid weekend. And like solid week. It was 80 degrees on one day last week, and it was lovely.
Ooh,
and then 2 days later it snowed.
They say it's going to be nice this week, but we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see.
Yeah, the weathermen haven't been very accurate.
Do a better job. Just
predict the weather.
Just predict the future.
Predict things better. Yeah.
Be better. Do better.
Yeah.
Come on. I say the
control
same
the
thing
weather
to myself every
Just
morning.
control the weather.
Yeah. I mean, do we not live in the Casa Madrigal? Changing the weather. Okay, let's get into our topic today, because us rambling about nothing is boring. JK LOL, we're funny as hell. But
hopefully.
Yeah, probably not. To ourselves. And
to
honestly,
ourselves. We love this.
That really doesn't. That's all that matters. I feel quite accomplished.
But anyway.
Okay.
We want to talk about consciousness and dreams.
Yeah.
Streams of thought.
Streams of thought, or lack
and trains of thought.
Trains of
leaving
thought.
the station.
Leaving the station.
Choo, choo, choo,
and mine do that often, and they don't really make it back into the same station. They just they leave and they chugga choo choo away. But okay, so here's the thing. A lot of people, when you're like, "Hey, what are you thinking about?" They're darting on all sorts of shit. I mean, they're popping off talking about the cloud and looking at this and looking at this, and they were like, "Well, I thought about this, and then I thought about this, and then I thought about this," all while they're talking to you. Like, what the hell is going on in your brain? My brain does not work like that, and it's a very, like, honestly, I would compare it to what's the gal in The Good Place? Janet, right? Janet's void. That is my brain for what I believe it to be.
So, yeah, keep going.
But okay, so like,
yeah, keep going.
Okay, so I I don't have like, I mean, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I need to make a list, and I'm like thinking of things through. Okay, fine, write it down, but done.
So when you're thinking of things through, is that like a dialogue with yourself? Is that a monologue? Do you hear your voice as like a stream of, oh, I think I should do this, as if you're talking, but you're talking to yourself?
I talk out loud to myself if I have that.
Yeah.
So I guess, yes, I'm like, okay, I got to go to the store and I got to get
Mm-hmm.
beans, rice, this. And I write it down. And then I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
bet, sick. But I'm not thinking more than that. like,
Yeah.
like, I don't really know how to explain it, but basically, if I'm sitting, I don't think I'm in like a meditative state, and I haven't put myself in any sort of thing. I just can stare at some, like if I'm out in nature, I'm not thinking about nature. I'm literally looking at it like it's an art piece, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm absorbing what's going on around me. So if someone's like, "What are you
Yeah.
thinking about?" Literally nothing. Like truthfully, I have no thoughts. And in the past, I was very self-conscious about this. I've only recently come out as being like, "Hey, I don't think thoughts."
Well,
but like in
it's
the
not
past, I
necessarily
really,
don't think thoughts, but like it's your base mode of operation
yes, my
is
base
calm
mode.
and tranquil, I would
Yes,
say,
that's a good way to put it.
you
Yeah,
know,
like
and that's not, it's not like you're completely unique. There's a lot of people that are like you, but the
thanks,
mass
Matthew, you dick.
majority, no, I'm just saying, like, there's a majority of people that are like me
yes,
that are all
yes,
over the freaking place.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you're
like
right.
it's
You're right.
awesome. I'm
Yeah.
saying,
No,
like,
I
there's
know.
solidarity with you. You
I know.
ass.
I
You're
just,
being a
I
victim,
want to
me.
be a unique
Oh
person,
my
Matthew.
gosh,
And why are you
I'm
ruining
just,
that for me?
no, I'm just
Oh,
saying I'm helping you.
thank you.
Anyway,
No,
so
but yes.
as you experience this,
Mm.
so like so when you're doing homework, how what is the process for like thinking through, your structure? Are you literally saying it out loud as you're typing, or like, I don't
So
know.
how I kind of function is I need to read everything before I even start something. So when it comes to like writing a paper,
Hmm.
I need to watch a YouTube video on what that book was about. I got to read the book one. Oof,
First, yeah.
that really kills me.
Yeah.
And then I
Which,
forget.
good job, Brittany, for reading.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank the Lord.
Praise be.
Praise be.
You guys,
Brittany
I read.
reading.
I'm literate, which is really lit.
Literate,
Literate.
literate.
But like I have to read everything and I need to
Uh-huh.
firmly understand. And that is my issue because that's why I won't do some things because I really don't actually understand it. I need to be
Mm.
explained things because I don't know big words. I need to look up then those big words to then put back into what, so then it's just a freaking process of like
Yeah.
figuring what the fuck it even means for like, oh my god. So that drives me nuts and I get very frustrated. So I have to have everything in front of me. Then I absorb it and then I'm like, okay, I got to write this out. But then I guess I think and write or talk out
Yeah.
loud, but I don't have like a well, if I talked about this and then I talked about this and then I talked about this, I'm like, what should I say right now?
Yeah.
Type. Pause. Think. What do
Yeah.
I say next? Oh, I don't know. Let's go read someone's other work.
Hmm.
Figure that out. Come back. And
Yeah.
I, as much as I would love to be the best multitasker, I'm not.
No.
I am a
No.
one
Let's
thing at a
do.
time.
Yeah.
And especially if someone starts to talk to me, whoa, no.
Hmm.
If I hear one word out of your mouth and I hear it, I can't hear anything this other thing is saying or other person, like, then I'm confused. I'm just done. Like, leave me
Hmm.
alone. So I don't know. I guess, how do you do homework? What is that different?
Yeah. I mean,
I feel like everyone does homework that way. I just sit down, I focus on that, and then I get her done.
yeah. Well, like for me, it depends because I'm a type of person that, um, like I always have a stream of consciousness and a dialogue, basically a monologue going
Okay.
on 24/7. Like it goes, turns off, but I am literally monologuing, replaying
But like
old
what? What are you saying?
conversations,
Shut up.
coming up with different responses for old conversations, and situations. Like literally, I'll catch myself like daydreaming and doing an action like with my hand, as if like I'm responding to some
No, you're
back.
not.
Oh yeah, all the time. Or I have to pause and hold myself to make sure I'm not just like straight up daydreaming
Jeez.
in certain situations. Yeah, for sure. But even if I'm like talking, I mean, when I talk, like I'll randomly be like, oh yeah, look, that
Yeah,
there's a
you're a
tree over there.
squirrel seer for
Squirrel. I
sure.
will definitely see
Yeah.
and bring something up, like, and that is just me voicing that
Mm-hmm.
stream of consciousness.
Yes.
So it's always a good thing when they're both doing, my mouth and my head's going at the same thing. But then I
Yes.
always hear mom, think before you speak, and then that
Yeah.
that can
And you
either be
pause.
that could be a gears
Mm.
going away, or
Mismatch.
gears totally meshing.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so for homework for me, like I do also need information multiple times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for me, I know writing,
Okay.
repetition, like listening and writing. Usually I got the information like at some level, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And then it's like I view the knowledge as like levels of confidence, you know?
Okay.
So like I might not have like uh dates and like specific names
Yes.
of
Okay.
people in
Okay.
battles and stuff, but
Yes.
conceptually, I get more confident
Mm.
with more examples and more
Yes.
things
Okay.
that I'm
Yes. Yes.
getting,
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
but as I'm writing, a lot of times, like even with some of my big papers, like I would have to um, outline. Outlining is
Yes.
my best friend.
Yes.
It's
It is.
outlining and then spreading it out,
Mm.
and then literally consciously, creating connector pieces,
Yeah.
and then,
Transitions.
all of that.
Okay.
Um, but for me, like when you said we're gonna have a thing about stream of consciousness and how people have inner dialogues and
Mm-hmm.
talking about dreams,
Mm-hmm.
I've had a monologue going on about like how I would talk about this for now
Okay.
2 days.
Okay.
Like as
Yeah.
I'm like doing things or like whatever, like I'll start thinking about, oh, this is how I would say, oh, like, me explaining dreaming, and
Mm.
me explaining this, or like then like something will remind me of some dick thing I did to an ex-girlfriend, and then I start thinking about that and then going over there, and then something else, so that triggers another thought, and then I'll start thinking
Dang.
about that. So then that could be both positive and negative.
Yes.
And that's where the mental health issues come in, where
Mm.
you can get in a downward cynical spiral,
Yes.
with the negative self thoughts that
Yeah.
don't stop. So a lot of my
Yeah.
things that I do um, try to get in the flow state
Okay.
in order
Meaning, what
to
do you mean,
to
like flow state?
swimming, repetition, and
Okay.
you get that runner's high.
Okay. Okay. Got.
Um,
Okay. 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 Okay.
think basically things to make the mind into one
Okay. Cyclical action.
focused.
Okay.
I have to like in order to get things done,
Mm-hmm.
I try to be focused.
Okay.
Or
And
at least,
present.
yeah, you try.
Yes.
But like so sometimes um it'll be like I'm listening, I'm understand first half of what you're saying, but
Mm-hmm.
that last sentence made my mind go on a tangent, and I
Mm.
heard my internal dialogue
Mm.
over your, like I literally heard it over what you said.
Oh,
So
okay. It's
my
not like you
brain,
heard someone else's. You're literally in your own head hearing
so that,
yourself.
yeah, it could be, yeah, for
The
sure.
hell.
So then it's like, oh, then I have to catch myself and be like, oh shit, what did they just, like I just missed two sentences because
Yeah.
I thought loudly to myself.
Mm.
you know
Yes.
so then I like have to focus, but then sometimes and
Yes.
then it's like a long conversation where I definitely hear, listen, and whatever, but
Yeah.
I still have two other like side little like things thinking about God knows
Yeah.
what.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
so I
it's just
guess
all over the place.
all over the place. So like I guess I'll lose what I'm talking, I'm a pretty active listener for that reason. I'm a
Hmm.
nodder and I need to be like fully aware of like what's going on to be like, I'm in this conversation.
Yeah.
Because if I look up at the sky and I'm just staring, I literally
Hmm.
hear nothing. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't hear that person. I don't hear
Yeah.
myself. And then, yeah, then I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. Also, sometimes I just, get too high and I lose what I forget what you're
So
talking about. I
yeah,
forget what anybody's saying. And then
your
I,
your
yeah,
brain is what normal should be. you
yeah.
know, where
So
mine is what
study me, people.
modern modern technology and all the
Yes, I
above
mean,
is
like, but
made.
you've got like the ADHD, the like, the fidgety
Yeah,
type, like,
definitely undiagnosed ADHD type
yeah, like
deal.
technology, certain things, and I don't even. I'm like, whoa, slow
Yeah.
that shit down.
So, but I mean that manifests differently when we dream. So
Yes,
I know
truth.
for myself,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I have very vivid dreams.
And
So
how
I'm a
often?
very vivid dreamer. It depends. So that's
Okay.
the thing. For me,
Mm-hmm.
smoking weed
Mm-hmm.
kills dreams. And
Yes,
that is it
that's
for
pretty universal.
that's
Yes.
universal, yes.
Okay.
And if you stop smoking weed, you usually have more vivid and real seeming dreams.
And it doesn't
A
take
lot
like
more vivid.
long, right? Like once you stop smoking for like a day
It's
or two, you're pretty like, all
pretty
right,
immediately like
let's do this.
your brain just starts going. And
Okay.
like typically like I'll have literally night sweats and stuff, but I
Like a
usually
nightmare type night sweat type deal, or
sometimes yeah
hmm.
people yeah typically describe, I mean, very vivid. Sometimes if your brain's not if you're not used to vivid dreams,
Yeah.
they all seem like nightmares. Yeah. um but like
Hmm.
but so during the times in my life where I take long breaks,
Mm-hmm.
like for ROTC,
Mm-hmm.
uh, no smoke and weed, clear
Mm-hmm.
brain,
Mm-hmm.
I had very vivid dreams.
Okay.
And then with that, and since I had a regular sleep schedule,
Yes.
I took that opportunity to experiment a little bit with lucid dreaming.
Did you
Hmm.
accomplish that?
A bit. So it was
Really?
actually quite crazy. So, I mean, essentially, you put yourself into sleep paralysis,
Yes.
um, and
But
you
then
do
you're
that.
I mean, like,
You're
yeah.
conscious
Okay.
during
Sorry.
your dream. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, which was kind of crazy. So then I would be able to do that either the next morning after like doing a run. I would go back uh, to my dorm and sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would practice going through numbers, like counting down or counting up consciously while keeping my body completely still
Interesting.
until you kind of like knew your body wouldn't move. And then you like, definitely feel you got to get over the sleep paralysis. I can't move and my body's
Yikes.
asleep, but my head's still awake.
What the
But
hell?
then like, you're dreaming. You're conscious while your body's asleep. Um, so I had some crazy, funky, vivid dreams. And I remember one time I was sleeping there, and it's bunk beds, but I didn't have a roommate. So I'm looking at the top, and I don't know why, um, but I opened my eyes. Like I was
Yeah.
able to open my eyes, like I
Dude.
was actually able
Vampire
to.
style.
And I vividly saw a gigantic spider, like in my full vision, like Shelob,
No
Lord of the Rings
way.
style giant spider,
No
start crawling
way.
down. Like it was just like a flash, like, and then I go like, who? And then I close my eyes, and then I got a little open, and it was gone, and I was like, fine, and then I just like go back to sleep. Um, so I mean, the brain does what it wants to do, and as much as I want to control it and be in
Yeah.
control of that dream, is more of a being awake and conscious in the dream versus being able to control it.
Hmm.
um, but that's
Hmm.
only in times where I'm dedicated, uh, no smoking and then
Mm-hmm.
no drinking is
Yeah.
really
Okay.
what does the vivid dreams for me.
Yeah.
But lately
Hmm.
I've been having uh, like vivid lingering dreams where it feels like almost like it happened.
Okay.
but where my mind's like, wait, is that a memory? Wait, no, that just happened.
Ooh.
It's just fresh in my mind. Like there was dreams that I was having right before I woke up that then pushed through
Okay.
into thinking it's a memory, where I'm like,
Okay.
no, I didn't do that. Like one recently, like I walked into some restaurant and then uh got a look from an old coworker that I just
Yeah.
haven't reached out to. And that's
Yeah.
on me because like I've just been having anxiety about not reaching out to people.
Yeah.
Um so so then like I'm like, oh shit, that like I feel bad, and and it was like a whole thing, and I woke up and wait, I still haven't seen this person.
Weird.
Like that didn't happen, but it was a totally real enough feeling
Yeah.
and scenario in my mind and the dream.
Mm-hmm.
But with smoking, it's like I fall asleep pretty fast
Yeah.
and then clonked out, wake up.
Yeah.
But then it's like a remnant where when I am not, when I wake up, like I can still somewhat be in that dream state as I wake up,
Mm.
So sometimes you're going to kind of extend
Interesting.
the longevity of the dream in a 5-minute space,
Whoa.
Where it
Yes.
feels weird and where you feel like you're asleep for an extra 20 minutes, but you really just press the snooze. Yeah.
That's
So then
very
sometimes growing up, and I know mom has this, she'll come up with answers to problems. Things will come to her in dreams. Like, oh, I had a dream last night that this, like, you didn't need to do this.
yeah,
And
to
then I'm like,
us, like her
to us,
intuition
oh
dreams
yeah,
are
like, oh hey, you
psycho.
should do this. Like I found this, like this came to me, and 100%, yeah.
It's
There's a few
amazing.
times growing up when we were doing summer projects, like I was doing woodworking
Yeah.
projects, and I would
Yeah.
like have a design thing, and it would come to me in a dream,
Whoa.
And so like,
So the
yeah,
Bible spitting truth. It comes in dreams.
yeah, prophecy and vision.
Yeah.
Let the third eye do it.
Interesting.
Listen. So
Wow.
yeah, it's usually something with the subconscious telling your conscious what's up, but yeah,
Well, that
my
sounds lovely.
it can be, and then it can also not be at times.
Yeah, I guess night terrors, night sweats, there's
Yeah.
Pluses and minuses. So then do you feel like your dreams have led you in a lot of cool ways, or you're do you ever journal your dreams and think, "Oh
I
man, I
don't
did have this."
necessarily journal them. I
Mhm.
should, especially like memorable ones. I should be more intentional. And then I know with intention, they tend to come more often and more vivid, and you remember more if you make the effort to remember.
Okay.
Type thing.
Mhm.
And I really should use the ability to have vivid dreams as a prereq to being sober. Like,
Mm.
oh hey, it's not that, oh no, I gotta be sober. It's
Yeah.
no,
I get to
I'm
dream like that.
intentionally trying to dream.
Yes.
I'm trying to
Yes.
achieve vivid dreams and see what my subconscious has to tell me.
Yeah. Ugh.
Interesting perspective, and I need to explore it more. That's kind of what I've found.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
See
not
that
everybody dreams like that.
what? Yeah, I don't. And everyone's like, "Well, you probably just don't remember." I don't
Because
know.
your brain definitely does
Your
go in
brain
REM
definitely does
cycles
do some
and
stuff,
does stuff, but
but
it would be
like
cooler if you remembered it.
it'd be really cool. Like I could probably tell you 2 dreams I've ever had. Oh, I dreamt
Mm-hmm.
last night. I
Yeah.
had a thought about it. Other than that, absolutely nothing. I sleep very
Mm-hmm.
well. I sleep from about 9:30 to
Yeah.
6:20
Yeah.
every day, and I am on that same routine. And I just conk out, and I put on my delta waves, binaural, whatever
Mm-hmm.
frequency, and I am gone. and I put it on for an hour.
Yeah.
Usually I'm gone within like 10 minutes. I mean, I'm done. And then sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night to pee.
Yep.
And sometimes I'm learning that actually when you eat any sort of sugar at night, then you pee during the night. And if you don't,
Oh.
you don't pee. So if I really don't eat past 7 and I don't have like
But I like
anything
my
sweet,
toast at night. I like toast.
I know, night toast.
No,
Chris toast
my
is the best. I know,
toast.
I do that too, or like a little bit of honey. No.
Yeah.
But literally, I can
But
completely
then,
tell the
yeah,
difference. I mean,
because
I don't wake up to
I'm
pee,
old
and
man
I'm like,
having to pee in the middle of the night
mm-hmm.
now every
And it's
night.
the
I'm
sugar.
like, oh man,
Yeah,
shugs.
it's the shugs. And
It's the
I've
shugs.
listened to this entire podcast about
You
like
gotta shrug the shugs.
sleeping. You gotta shrug the shugs. You gotta sleep, and like on certain hours.
I've
Of
been good
sleep
about my
are, like,
magnesium
specific.
though.
Good.
You're
Everybody
welcome,
take
Brittany.
magnesium every night. Every night. All of you. It is good for mind, body, soul, muscle, bone, all. But like I've got a pretty good night routine. But yeah, I cave into some, cinnamon sugar toast because it's so freaking good. But I heard that like, going to bed at the same time every night and then getting those like initial few hours. I mean, that's like those are your healing hours. Those are the times your body's going to repair. But when you go to bed at 1, it's not like it just starts later. It won't happen. So I'm really trying to like stay on that path. But again, I black out and then I wake up and then it's like, okay, cool. And I mean,
typically that's what happens, but recently they've been
and so
through.
I mean, totally. I smoke weed, but there's been many times in my life that I didn't, and I didn't smoke for months. And I even bought dream tea at one point. I was really trying to dream, and I got nothing. And it was like really upsetting because I'm very intuitive. I think Matthew and I speak telepathically. I'm a bit psychic. It's like, these things
one of these days
happen.
you'll pick up some of my dream energy and you're
That'd
gonna
be wild.
it's
That'd
gonna
be
be
amazing.
awesome.
People send me all the dream energy because I would
Dream energy.
love for people interpret dreams and it's so cool. And I'm like, oh man, I can't even fucking think, man. I can't dream, I can't think. And honestly, in the past, I thought I was just a big old dum dum, and I'm realizing more and more that I feel bad for other people that think too much.
For sure.
This is a far better lifestyle to just
you gotta
be
able
present
to
and not just accept for what, because
you gotta experience things instead of overthinking things.
And like, okay, I do think about the consequences. I'm not going to run out into traffic, but at the same time, like, am I going to give myself a tattoo? Maybe. I don't see the harm. Done. Am I going, if I trust myself, I also am big into gut feelings. Like your gut biome, truthfully,
intuition
does so much, and intuition, but that vagus nerve and that gut biome, you got to take care of that in order to have those feelings. And when if I get nauseous, I am out of that situation. Bye. And
bye.
Yeah.
Which is
and
good.
I will, which is great. I like that I have that feeling. But like, I would love to dream, man. I think that's cool. And anyways. But wow, dreams are wild, and I feel, and then I watch Doctor Strange and I'm like, that shit's whack, because that makes me think of lucid dreaming. Like when he's in the room and he like hits through and the spirit comes out and then his body's there and it's just like time is
astral
infinite.
projections.
Astral projection. Thank you. That's the term. Holy shit. If I could do that, I'd be a freaking wizard. I'd feel like, and I feel like that's in something I would want to try. I mean, that sort of like spiritual realm or different sort of consciousness. It all just comes
different levels and different,
Yes. And I want to experience and go through these realms of consciousness. And I guess I just need to sit with myself and, maybe have a ceremony or two and explore different avenues and but yeah, I guess we the biggest takeaway
to explore, but here's a good takeaway before your biggest takeaway.
Yeah, hit me.
Is that we're young and we know that this is part of the journey.
Truth.
And we're taking steps.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah, because I feel like people have these things
and
that like
subconsciously,
Yeah. Like a midlife crisis.
So things will come to us as
this.
well as we get we push for those opportunities
Yeah.
to grow intuition,
Yes.
grow consciousness,
Yes.
and that's all we want.
That's all, and I think that's a fulfilling life is when you're exploring who you are. And you know what? I talked to someone today, and they were going to a silent retreat. They're actually a
Ooh,
minister. I met with a minister for lunch,
interesting.
and she was very cool. And she's like, actually, I'm taking a little few weeks sabbatical, and one of the weeks I'm going to a Buddhist monastery and doing a silent retreat for a week. She goes, I want to work up to a
Those are
dark
pretty
retreat.
intense.
She goes,
Mm-hmm.
a dark one. And I'm like, wait, why? Like, what is your reason? She's like, when you, like, that's freedom. If you are in the pure dark, you don't know what time it is, where you're at, then you're just you. And that's raw freedom.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, holy smokes. And, people do go insane with that. That's solitary confinement.
Oh, for sure.
But when you can actually hone in on the energy and do something with it, how cool are we? Like, you become the void. I mean, that's so cool.
You become the Buddha.
You become the Buddha. All is one in the world. There's just so many things that we can do for ourselves, and I know that people don't, and I don't think they're really interested either. They live in the reality material world, and you do you.
Yeah,
we are definitely
but
on a plane of connecting with the wood wide web.
Yeah, for sure. But even like we want to get into it, and I need to get more into it in certain aspects. But like even our surface level curiosities,
yes, true,
is better than most. And you just try to show people like, hey, look up, look at life.
Look at
life.
life. Fuck them kids, bro. Look at life.
There's trees out there, man. There's water, guys. Look at these
we
clouds,
love
dude.
The earth. It is our planet. We love the earth. It is our home. Little Dicky gets it, man. But for real, I mean, I think we have great parents that have said, the world is cool. But also, we went from Nebraska to, the PNWs, and it's like a whole different landscape. And you do look up innately because there are mountains. There are things above that you're like actually looking at. And the more people I meet, they're like, oh my God, I look up because of you. You were like, did you see those clouds this morning?
Yeah.
Did you see that sunset? You're already in your house. You're not even making a thing.
Of mountains and clouds.
I'm immediately
and rainbows.
Outside. Let's go.
Hype. Moons.
And if I can't see them, like, okay, crazy thing. I don't know if you saw last night, which I hate that I didn't see. There were northern lights in 30 states last night. There was a geomagnetic storm, and it was all over. So Billings, we got to check in with the broskies. It was in Montana. There was sightings here, like an hour south near St. Louis.
An hour south.
Yeah, it was a very like interesting path, and it was from like purple to lime green to like all. You should look it up because it was wild, and it was from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Central Time was kind of like when it happened. And I was outside at 10:30, did not see a thing. But I mean, there are pictures everywhere that look so the world, the earth, everything is so cool. And and then it's like we look above, but we're also swimmers. We look below. And and then the fact that we only know 3% of the ocean still trips me out on a day-to-day basis.
Oh my gosh, and it's so big and so vast.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. I was literally having this conversation about how crazy and immense the world's oceans and water. And like, the fact that like fresh water only accounts for 1% or something of the world's water. And then like, I'm like, do you understand how much fresh water there is? Like all the rivers, all the lakes, all those people, all the animals, all the plants, all the clouds, all the glaciers. And that's 1%.
Oh my God. That's nuts. That's great. Okay. Another like really quick, really there's like, okay, this guy that I met on Friday night, honestly, it was like the opening comment that set the tone. He was talking about, like, he was like, did you hear about the gravitational waves that we got like back on Earth? I'm like, no, tell me more, please. And he was talking about the black holes like twirling around and creating, and then he's like, yeah, that's like more 10 times the density of the sun. Just like, I don't know, there was all these things and mind-blowing information. There's just so much stuff that we don't even know about that happens
Yeah.
outside, but in this universe. And that's like, what? Again, the world is so cool. We don't
The
deserve to
universe
be here.
outside and the universe within.
Oh my gosh. Because then I just think like Dow always brings up like the beginning of Men in Black when it's those dinosaurs playing with the marbles of all the galaxies. You
Yeah.
know, and like, and then you think of like the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Everything's on that one little snowflake, and then
Mm-hmm.
that makes you have like a
That's
thought
Horton
that,
Hears a Who too as well.
oh really?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, yeah, we're definitely in a simulation. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's whatever. But though, I don't know, the world is so cool, and I feel very fortunate to live in a very cool, I mean, Illinois is whatever, but you know, earth in general, and the sky and the water and
Any
my
place on
mind
Earth.
and
Earth is cool.
consciousness, or you know, lack thereof, that I recognize. The fact that, yeah, you're right, we're thinking that. And I just think of, I mean, what is it, where they're animals, not Animal House, Animal Farm. You know, like
You're
consciousness
Napoleon the
of
pig.
yeah.
So
Consciousness of
all
animals,
animals
like
are
how are we
equals.
gonna
Some animals are more equal than others.
Oh god. But to be honest, I couldn't tell you much more about that book than just a basic premise. But anyways.
Yeah. Oh, there's that train. Choo 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 choo
Yep, see,
choo.
there it goes.
That train of thought.
It
Leaving the
has
station.
left the station.
Goodbye,
Estacion.
train of thought.
Ciao ciao
All
for
right.
now, you know.
Well, you know, we are an hour deep,
Oh shoot.
and
All right.
we talked about. Oh, I do
Yeah.
have to say.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we were talking about dreams and sleep drifting.
Yeah.
Shout out to King Giz and their song "Sleep Drifter."
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a great
I
song.
mean, King goes around. Also,
Yeah.
I think the only time, I guess that's not called dreaming, but I do wake up like I'm falling off a cliff because I forget to breathe. I do that often. I don't
Yeah.
breathe well.
That's sleep apnea. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You should
Cool. Yeah. I've got my
maybe talk
mouth
to a
guard
doctor
and I'm
about
like,
that.
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
See doctors. Great.
Yeah.
But,
Or not.
or not. I would love to have a sleep study done. If anybody does out there a sleep study that I don't need to pay for, that I would get paid to do,
Yeah, let us
honestly,
know.
would love an
Yeah.
experimental sleep study. Please take my brain. I think it's an odd one. I'd love to see some stuff.
Yeah, and you can send those recommendations and give us a follow on Instagram at the Sunderkids.
Hey,
We just officially made the Instagram account.
Yay!
And we're officially on the, what was the last one? Amazon Music,
Amazon
and Google.
Music, Google, Apple,
just
and
actually
Spotify,
did it.
man.
So
yeah, we're on Google and we're on
spread
Amazon
it around,
Music.
spread the news, spread the vibes.
Yeah, take the Sunderkids on the road with you. We want to go anywhere and everywhere. Listen
Anywhere,
to our voices.
Anywhere, everywhere, every day.
All day, every day. Every day vibes.
Every day,
you know?
everyday vibes with the Sunderkids. All right.
So cool. Check it out.
Take us out.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Ciao,
All
ciao
right.
for now.
Ciao, ciao for now.